Hello, hello family, and welcome to Restore and Rewind. Today is all about restorative and deep stretches. So you might want a couple props just for some assistance, maybe some bricks, a strap, or even a blanket, depending if you want a little extra support under the feet. But other than that, all you need is you and a mat and some space. So we are actually going to start standing today. So whenever you're ready, go ahead and join me standing. I'll be chopped off just for a little bit, but don't worry, I'll be right there with you. We're going to take the fingertips right behind the ears, and it's almost like a deadlift, but rather than it being a deadlift, it's called a good morning. So we're just going to hinge from those hips until the chest and back are parallel between the floor and the ceiling. The fingertips are behind the ears and the elbows are pulling back, so we feel a gentle stretch in the upper body. So we're going to ground through those feet as we rise back up. And then hinging from those hips back into those good mornings. So it's firmly grounded through the feet, just like you do in a deadlift. You should feel a nice gentle stretch running up through the hamstrings. You should feel supported through the low back. And then again, we have that upper back opening and stretch. Just allow the breath to ground you. Nice job. Keep breathing. Just a couple more here. One more here. And slowly release, shake it out. We're going to step the feet almost like we're going into a squat. And then when you sit down, we're going to bring the elbows inside the knees and then just gently rock the weight side to side. So our point here is to open up the hip flexors, right where the hips and the legs come together. So don't worry about too much sitting super deep or working through the legs, but focus on opening up through those hips. Stay really grounded as you lean side to side. Stay connected with your breath. Nice job. And then slowly come back through center. Release the hands to the earth and parallel out the feet. If your feet are pretty close together, just go and wind them out a little bit. We're going to take both hands over to the left foot, and then we're going to bend the right knee and sit into that right side as we pull and reach towards the left. Slowly release back up through center, and then bend and sit into that right leg again. So as we're holding onto the outside of this left ankle or the foot, you should feel a nice deep stretch running up through the side body, into that shoulder and upper back. And then as we sit into that opposite leg, we feel that stretch through the inner thigh. So keep the chest driving towards the left leg. Stay grounded through the left foot. Just sit into that right leg and then straighten it back up. Nice job. Just a couple more here. And then we're going to hold. Keep your right hand to the left foot, but then bring your left arm up towards the sky, twisting. Maybe you take the gaze up. Maybe it's more comfortable for the neck to stay low. We're bent into this right leg, and the left leg is nice and straight. Take another breath here. Last breath, and then slowly release. Coming through center, go ahead and straighten out both legs. And then we're going to walk both hands over to our right foot. So we're grabbing either the outside of the right foot or the ankle. And then we're going to hold onto that foot as we sit into that left leg, bending the knee, and then straighten the leg coming back through center. So even though the chest is driving to the right knee, all the weight kind of leans into that left leg, and we pull, pull, pull on the right foot. Just so we can feel that stretch to the hips, and through the upper back and shoulders, and then into the side body. You got it, PELWELL family. Stay with it. Allow your breath to be what grounds you here. One more. And then again, we're going to stay as we're sitting into that left leg. Your left hand keeps holding onto the right, and then we're going to reach the right arm up to the sky. Either bringing the gaze up We're keeping it down towards the floor, whatever's more comfortable on the neck. But we want to try to stack the shoulders, one directly on top of the other. So you have a deep, deep, deep side body stretch through that left side, around through the shoulder, all the way up to the right. Take another breath here. And then slowly release, coming back through center. Hands underneath the chest. Now we can either place the hands on the bricks or leave them on the earth. We're just gently going to sit side to side into those legs. Still focusing on opening and mobilizing through those hips. We had a lot of leg work yesterday, so the legs might be really, really sore. So we want to stretch, but we also want to find mobility. So that way we're not getting stuck in the joints and then letting the legs and the hips cause us lower back pain or hip pain. So keep focusing on a bigger range of motion, in that fluid moving through the hips to find some more mobility. Just a couple more here. And then slowly release. Whatever way feels comfortable for you, working your way to the floor. It's okay if it's not super smooth. However you need to get there. And then we're going to come into tabletop. Take a nice deep breath. We're going to ground through the right hand. As you inhale, reach your left arm up. Again, trying to stack the shoulders. And then on the exhale, thread the needle under the right, coming onto that shoulder and cheek. As you inhale, pressing yourself back up. Again, reaching and opening. Exhale, thread the needle. So don't worry about moving super fast here, and don't even worry about how it looks. It's okay if the shoulders are really limited in the range of motion. Maybe before we reach back, we can only get the arm about here. Maybe it doesn't stack. That's okay. Don't worry about how it looks. Just notice how it feels. And if the shoulders are really, really tight, just stay within your range of motion. And maybe with every breath, just try to find a little bit more. This can be a lot if we're tight through the upper body. Just one more here. And the next time you thread the needle, hold. So as we come onto the shoulder and cheek on the left side, your hips stay up and lifted over the knee. We're going to extend the right arm overhead. Take a nice deep breath. And then we're going to rotate the right hand to come back towards the hips. And like a big rainbow sweep, sweep it back overhead. So moving that right arm, mobilizing through the shoulder in a big arch sweep. Really mobilizing right through that joint. Nice job at home. This can be really, really tricky. So again, just stay within your range of motion. And just notice if we're tensing somewhere to kind of make up for how hard this mobilization might be. So try to soften through the shoulders, through the upper body. And then slowly release the right hand back to the earth. Press through that hand and release your left hand back under the left shoulder. From here, tucking the toes under, lift up into down dog. And once you're there, just gently pedal out the feet. Feeling that nice gentle stretch through the calves, through the hamstrings. And then slowly come back through tabletop. Once we're in tabletop, we're going to move through a couple rounds of cat-cow, so rounding the spine. Pull the chest and the hips towards the center. And then inhale, lengthen, and press the belly towards the floor, feeling that micro back bend through the low back. Exhale, root and round. Inhale, micro back bend. And with your breath, keep flowing between these two, really just focusing on how it feels through the entire back. Upper, lumbar, mid. Really focusing on decompressing through the entire spine. Just a couple more here. And then coming back through neutral. So we're going to flow through that whole thing on the other side. So we're going to inhale, reach the right arm up. Now I'm really, really tight to my right side, so I can not stack my shoulders on the right. This is about as high as I can get. So again, just stay within your range of the motion. We reach up and then we thread the needle. And just honor that our bodies are different side to side. I don't know why I'm tighter on my right side. That's my dominant. You think it would not be that way. But I'm very, very tight on this right shoulder. Especially because all my back issues, my compressed nerve and everything are on the left side. But the right side is limited. So it's okay if maybe we found full range of motion on the other side. And when we're limited on this side, just stay within this side's range of motion. One more time, and then as we thread the needle, we're going to hold. Keeping those hips lifted above the knees, reaching the left arm now overhead. Rounding through that shoulder, through the cheek, and through the legs. Big rainbow sweep all the way up and back. Just with that left arm. Really mobilizing through that shoulder. You can hear it crickety cracketing. And last one, go ahead and slide it back in. Lift yourself back up through tabletop, tucking the toes. You're about to get an appearance from Yuki. It must be a new Wednesday thing. Coming back through down dog. And pedal out the feet. And then slowly release, coming back through all fours. So for this next one, we're gonna grab our bricks. Come on, they don't want to see your tail. Get out of here. Come on. Grab both bricks. We're going to step the right foot between the two, like we're setting up for lizard pose in yoga. So make sure that the back knee is behind, sorry, I can't with her today, behind the hip. Make sure it's not directly underneath of it. So you feel that stretch through the hip flexor, hands onto the bricks, and then just allow yourself to start to sink forward until you feel that nice deep stretch through the hip. I'm waiting for her to knock the camera over because that's what she's after. Jeez. Hold on, get down. Come on, get out. So stay with that breath as you open through the hip. Relax through the shoulders. Don't move the legs at all, but bring the outside brick to the inside of the right leg. So now both bricks are to the inside. And if this is as deep as you want to go today, feel free. But now that they're both on the inside, if it's there for you, come onto the forearms. Coming even deeper into that stretch. And then we're going to bring your left forearm across both bricks, whether they're on their mid setting or their high setting, depending on your hip flexibility. Right hand to the inside of the right knee. Gently press the right foot off to the side so you're on the knife edge of the foot, and start to rotate your chest to face that side of the room. So now we feel that stretch still through the left hip flexor, but also all around the hip on the right. Keep grounding through that forearm. Notice if you're shrugging the shoulders and soften. And breathe. Slowly bring the right foot back in. Walk your hands back up on both bricks. And because this was a joint stretch right through that hip, slowly, slowly, slowly release out of it. So we're not putting too much pressure too quickly. Sweep the right leg back and let's step the left foot forward, placing it in between the bricks to start. Making sure the right knee's behind the hip, not directly underneath of it. Hands onto those bricks and then just gently start to shift the weight forward until we feel that stretch through the right hip. Nice job. Relax through the shoulders and keep breathing. Without moving the legs, bring the outermost brick to the inside. And again, always feel free to stay here, but if it's available to you, come onto the forearms. As you keep actively pulling the knee next to the shoulder. Again, without moving the legs, we're going to now bring the right arm across both bricks, left hand to the inside of the left knee, gently pressing it off until we're on the knife edge of the foot, and then rotate your chest to face that side of the room. Nice job. Breathe through it. And slowly bring the foot back onto the earth. Press the hands back into the bricks to release. And then again, very slowly release your hips. We're going to sit with the bricks to the back of us. They're just going to be there for a little support as we come into hero pose. So sit onto the heels. Make sure the feet are untucked so you're actually on the shoelace part of the foot. We're going to bring the hands towards the feet. And slowly just start to sit the weight back. Now, if at any point the knees start to lift off the floor, go ahead and stop and don't come back any further. But we're trying to lower onto the forearms. The bricks either on the highest setting, mid setting, low setting if it's available to you. And then grounding through the shins, you feel that stretch through the quadriceps and through the hips. This one can be really intense, especially if we're really, really tight through the front body, through those quads, through the knees and the hips. So allow the breath to be what grounds you. And maybe coming onto the forearms isn't there. Maybe we just have the hands back here and we kind of lean into the arms a little bit. Just notice what feels best for your body. And if at any point, again, those knees start to pop up, back up off and digress a little bit. And you can always set the bricks on a high setting. If mid setting's too low, just play around with it until it feels right in between that point of discomfort, but before we get to pain. And take another breath here. And then slowly walk it back up. Keep the legs as they are, but then fold over them, coming into child's pose. Releasing the low back and countering that stretch. Take one more breath here. And then slowly round the spine, coming back through tabletop. Cross the ankles behind you or kick them out to the side to have a seat. You can set your bricks off to the side and then grab your strap. Now, if you have a really tight low back, this is where you might want the blanket, and you're just going to slide the edge of the blanket underneath your sit. So it helps elevate your hips a little higher than the rest of the body, so the low back won't feel super tight as we try to go into some of these forward folds. But you're going to extend the legs out long and take the strap around the bottom of the balls of the feet. We're going to take this strap in both hands, Inhale, find a nice long spine. We're not rounding here. We're going to hinge from the hips like you do in a deadlift and start to pull yourself forward on these steps. Now, as long as you're hinging, so your belly should hit the thighs before your chest or your chin do. So if you notice the chin is, or the head's going to touch first, then lengthen that spine, hinge from the hips more. And then notice if you don't need the strap, you can let go and grab the bottom of the feet as long as you don't lose that hinging. If you start to round the spine, that's okay. Just come back to the strap for your assistance. And slowly release, walking yourself all the way back up. And then come all the way onto your backs. Keeping your strap with you as you come down. We're going to take the strap around the bottom of the right foot only, and then extend it out nice and long. If it's available to you, let the left leg fall out long too, but if that doesn't feel good, feel free to keep the knee bent. Using the hands onto the strap, we're going to keep the legs straight as we try to pull the knee closer and closer to the chest, so we feel a nice big stretch running up the entire posterior chain. Keep driving through the heel, pulling the toes to the shin, and then breathe. Taking both sides of the strap into your left hand, gently allow the right leg to fall across the body, but keep your right shoulder grounded. So don't allow the right side body to follow suit. So we're still connecting through the right arm and through the shoulder, and our chest is open towards the sky. So not only are we feeling the stretch to the outside of the right hip, we also have a gentle spinal twist. Finding decompression through the back. And slowly bring that leg back up through center. Keep the right leg up. Take one strap in each hand just to widen the space a little bit. Bring the left knee in, and then replace the left foot where the right was, and release your right leg. From there, bring the straps back together, still holding in both hands. Press to the heel, and then pull the leg closer towards the chest to find a deeper stretch. Relax through the shoulders and the upper body, and then focus on your breath. And we're going to take both ends of the strap into the right hand and gently let the left leg fall across the body as we stay grounded through the left shoulder and arm. Slowly bring the leg back up through center, and then bend the knee to release the strap. You can set it off to the side. Gently hug the knees into the chest and rock side to side. Slowly coming back through center, release the feet to the floor, but keep the knees bent. Placing the left ankle on top of the right knee like a figure 4. Reach through, hug the right knee into the chest. And then as you actively keep pulling the right knee closer and closer, Think driving your left knee away from the body. So you feel a nice big stretch to the outside of that left hip. Keep the legs exactly as they are into the chest, but release the hands. We're going to let both legs fall off to the right side until the left foot grounds onto the earth. And then field goal post or cactus shape the arms. As the left knee is shooting straight up towards the ceiling and we're grounded through the foot, and open up through the chest and the front body. Take one more breath here. And slowly bring the hands back down and then release the legs back up. Releasing the left leg from the right, and we'll switch sides. So right ankle on top of the left thigh. We're gonna reach through and hug the left knee into the chest. And again, as we pull the left knee in, keep pushing the right knee away until you feel that stretch to the outside of the right hip. And then keeping the legs into the chest, release the arms. Let both legs fall off to the left side until your right foot grounds onto the earth. Press the knee so it's going towards the ceiling. And then again, cactus shape those arms or field goal posts. Take one more breath here. And slowly release, bringing the hands by the sides, and then bringing your legs back up. Releasing the right ankle from the left, both feet on the earth, knees are up. Go ahead and grab one of your yoga bricks. On its lowest setting, we're going to slide it underneath the tailbone and the sits bones, and then extend your legs out long. We're using it as a supported back bend. So we're grounding through the heels and through the shoulders. Hands are down by the side, or maybe we cactus shape them if we want to keep opening through the chest. But the hips are elevated above the shoulders and the ankles, and so we have this supported low back bend. We're feeling that stretch and that opening through the hips. Slowly bend the knees, dragging the feet back in. Keeping everything as it is, we're going to bring the knees into the chest. And that brick should feel like a little wedge supporting you. And then extend your legs up for a supported inversion. If you need to make any adjustments on the brick, maybe it's too close, we need to slide it out, feel free. Make sure it's not digging into the low back or anything like that. Take one more breath here. And then slowly let the heels melt back towards the hips. And then release the feet down towards the earth. Pressing through the feet to slide the brick out from underneath of you and setting it off to the side. We're going to transition into a guided meditation. So if you want to stay laying on the floor, feel free. If you prefer to be seated, go ahead and roll it up and find yourself in a comfortable sit. Just make sure wherever you are, you're in a position that you feel comfortable and relaxed for about 8 to 10 minutes. If you're sitting upright, let the hands come into your lap. If you're laying down, maybe the hands rest on the belly or down by the side. You can allow the eyes to close or maybe just bring them softly in front of you, trying to eliminate visual distractions. And for our meditation today, our theme is going to be focused attention. So I want you just to notice your thoughts in the moment. In the yoga community, we call constant thoughts monkey brain, kind of rambling thoughts jumping from one to the next, or that constant thought where we can't find any kind of relaxation because we have so much that we have on our mind. So no judgment, and not even trying to fix it in this moment. Just what is on the mind right now. Perhaps family obligations, maybe a heavy workload, maybe lots of activities to do once the day is done. Chores or errands we still have to do. And just notice all the thoughts that rain down on the mind. And not necessarily letting those thoughts go, but try to push them more towards the back so they're not the most prominent thing in the mind. And bring your intention to your breath. Take a nice deep breath, inhale, and exhale through the mouth. Again, taking a nice deep inhale, and exhale. And maybe you even say, inhale as we breathe in, and exhale as we breathe out, to really bring our focus to the breath. So notice, even though we're now focusing on the breath, the thoughts and sensations throughout the day are still in the mind. But allowing ourselves to focus on the breath brings us some grounding. Now, as you keep your focus on your inhale and your exhale, start to notice the sensations around you. What do you hear? As we focus our intention, perhaps we hear things we didn't notice before. Birds chirping, cars on the interstate, noises in the home. Take a moment and just be aware of the noises around you. What is there now that you didn't notice a moment ago? And without letting that go, start to notice your sense of touch. If the hands are on the lap clasp, what does the skin feel like in the hand? Perhaps if they're on the body, the texture of your clothing or the floor or the earth. Perhaps you didn't notice the softness of the fabric until you brought your focus to it. Take a moment and notice what you feel. Maybe through the legs or the hands. And next, transition to your sense of smell. Can you notice anything you didn't notice a moment ago as you focus your attention on the aromas around you? Perhaps if the windows are open, you can smell barbecues coming in, or autumn weather, maybe even exhaust from cars going by in the neighborhood. Just take notice. Noticing through the sense of smell, touch, and hearing. All these things that happen around us in every moment that we normally filter out and don't take note of. And then bring your focus back to your breath. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Still noticing the other senses. And notice if taking these few minutes to focus our attention helped us to calm the monkey brain, to release the anxiety of thoughts and worries, to find some grounding. And although this is considered a formal practice, take this technique with you throughout the day. And if you notice things start to feel overwhelming, take in 3 to 5 deep breaths of mindfulness, alertness of what's happening around you. Not trying to work against or fleeing from anxieties and thoughts, but learning to not allow them to overwhelm us and to take over. Another deep breath in and out. Slowly start to flutter the eyes back open. And if you found yourself laying down for your meditation, ease and with gentleness, coming back into a seated position. Still staying with your breath. And releasing the hands to the left. Roll your shoulders up, back and down to release. And one more time. Placing one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Take a nice deep breath, inhale through the nose, let the belly fill with air so you feel it pushing into the palm. Exhale audibly, side out. One more cleansing breath. Inhale and exhale. Thank you, PELWELL family, for joining me for Restore and Rewind. From my heart to yours, be well.